Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. This is the 2000 Honda Odyssey. It's got a check engine light on. I believe it has a P1491 EGR valve insufficient lift code. So I'm going to be addressing that code in this video. Let's get started. As you can see, it is a P1491 code. It's EGR valve insufficient lift detected. And that 420 code is actually new to me, to my knowledge. It wasn't there the last time I looked. I am hoping that that is sort of kind of related to the 1491. I'm going to reset things and see if it comes back after I do this fix. The 1456 code is kind of old. I knew about it already. I've Googled it, and I believe it's the O-ring around the filler neck. I need to go to Honda to get that O-ring because I can't. It's not something that I can easily find online, so I'll have to go talk to them and see what it is and get a replacement for it. I'm not going to do that in this video, just going to do the 1491. So the EGR valve is actually right here. It's this big canister looking thing. The connector is it's a 6-pin connector, but there are 5 pins. The two bottom ones, so it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 and 6 are the 12-volt positive and negative. I believe this is negative and this is positive. And that takes 12 volts, but the 3 pins on the top, those are the signal wires that go to the PCM, and those take 5 volts. So if you go and you want to try to test the functionality of your EGR, you need to jumper the 2 bottom pins. The 2 bottom outside pins are positive and negative. If you jumper any of the top pins to a 12-volt source, you're going to fry the PCM, at least if you jumper these ones on the connector. So don't do that. And also don't jumper any of the top pins on the actual EGR valve either, because they're meant for 5 volts. What we're gonna do is test them for continuity. I've got my DVOM. So I'm gonna try to test the top 2 pins for continuity, and from what I've been able to figure out, because I have the book, you got to test pins 1 and 2 for continuity. If it's over 100,000 when the car's warm, then you need to replace the EGR valve. And it looks like it was 6,000 there. Then you need to jumper pins 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, I'm sorry. And if that's over 100,000, then you need to replace the EGR. I had taken this thing out for a test drive earlier, and when I was jumpering pins 1 and 2, it wasn't coming up with 7,000, it was actually coming up with 22 million. So earlier when the thing was warm, it was doing that. Of course, I've let it cool down a little bit because I have gardeners around here blaring their leaf blowers, so I've had to wait for that. So now, of course, the thing is cold and I can't reproduce that symptom on camera. So you know what, I think maybe I'll just run this for a little while and see if we can get that symptom back. Just do a little test here. I've got the car running. I've got the connector disconnected. I've got pin 4, which is the bottom pin on the left-hand side. I've got that connected to positive, and I've got pin number 6, which is the bottom one on the right. I've got that, and I'm gonna jumper that to negative real quick, and that should activate the valve, and that should cause the engine to run rough and or possibly stall. So let's see what happens. Just gonna pulse it, and that is what happens. So we know that the valve does work, so I don't think that that's the actual problem with it. All right, now I'll put the DVOM back in there, and I'll test the resistance of pins 1 and 2. Okay, either I'm not finding the pins or there's no resistance at all. It feels like I'm on the pins. Okay, there we go. For a second there. Nothing. So there we go. This thing's dead. At least the sensor side of it's dead. So time for a new one. Not sure this could be any easier to replace. There are 2 12mm nuts, one on either side. Hopefully that didn't fall too far. No, it didn't. Just sitting right there. Okay. So it looks like the gasket stayed behind there, so that's great. I'm going to reuse it and install my new used part. Because you know me. Honestly, actually, that's the owner of this car. Let's be honest. So I'll just take it for a quick spin and see if the code comes back. I've already cleared the codes, so let's go see what happens. All right, just got back from the test drive. No check engine lights so far. And look at this. Look, this is what I got with the used part from the junkyard. I forgot about this. So I think I was probably thinking that I would make my life easier when testing these pins. So I've just stripped off the ends of the wires. We'll go ahead and verify the repair here on the new one. So pins 1 and 3, where are we? Should have under 100,000. Yeah, it's interesting that they have 2 million. And this one has pins 1 and 2 has 1.4 or thousand, so 1,500. It's interesting that pins 1 and 3 have, okay, there we go, 3,000. Pins 1 and 3 have 3,870, 60. So they're under 100,000 as well. So there we go. Those are proper readings on this. Go ahead and hook up my scan tool, make sure that the code didn't come back. Look at that, no DTCs came back. I'm expecting that 1456 to come back because it always does. But from what I'm told, the 1491 should have come back after even just one driving cycle. So, all good. All right, that's a verified repair. I'm happy. I hope you're happy. Thank you very much for watching.